So here to tell their story are co-founders Loretta and Daniel Bolotin. So would you welcome Loretta and Daniel? Come on up. Fantastic. Loretta and Daniel Bolotin, Free to Feed.
In a quiet seaside village in Sri Lanka, a small Tamil boy pops mustard seeds in coconut oil as he learns to make the perfect curry from his grandmother. That boy becomes a young man who flees his country's civil war. He spends most of his 30s locked up in immigration detention centres across Australia, where, to stay positive, he grows his own chilies and spices and cooks his grandma's curries for other inmates and even guards. Today, Nero is one of the instructors in Free to Feed. He shares his grandma's treasured recipes and others with everyday Australians when they come to a class, with a generosity of spirit and a smile that leaves many a student spellbound.
There are over 30,000 asylum seekers from all over the world living in communities across Australia right now. I have been privileged during my 8 years working with asylum seekers and refugees to experience the incredible culture, skills, knowledge, and resilience that they bring with them. But my deep concern is that the majority of Australians do not get this first-hand experience. And this actually creates the conditions in which asylum seekers do not feel welcome here and are getting knocked back in jobs that they are perfectly qualified for on a daily basis. Did you know that a recent study by the Australian Bureau of Statistics identified refugees as the most entrepreneurial and resourceful of all migrants to Australia? I've lost my sheet.
Might be this one.
I was doing okay. But also, they found that their single biggest challenge is finding work. Many are caught in a suffocating and disheartening cycle of work rejections, which is exacerbated by social isolation.
In Syria, Layla is the owner and head chef of one of the most famous restaurants in Damascus. Dignitaries from all over the Middle East come and dine at her restaurant. But one day, as war ravages her country, her restaurant and house are bombed. Within a month, Layla, the successful and dynamic businesswoman, finds herself clutching her 5-year-old daughter, huddled with 86 other people on a leaky fishing boat, where they will spend 11 long days with only a cup of water for each person.
It is meeting inspiring people like Layla that led us to start Free to Feed, a pop-up cooking school with a difference. So what is Free to Feed? At Free to Feed, we employ talented, brilliant individuals from asylum seeker communities, and they're excellent cooks. We handpick them and we take them through a bespoke training and mentoring led by food industry professionals to help them translate their existing skills into the art of running their own classes. And that is where the magic happens.
Layla now teaches the secrets behind those famous dishes from Damascus to ordinary Australians at Free to Feed classes every week, like how to make the creamiest hummus imaginable, or her famous muhammara, a spicy capsicum and walnut dip infused with pomegranate molasses. She shares the sweet recipes of her youth, filled with almonds, pistachios, rich cream and rosewater.
Our refugee instructors run Free to Feed cooking classes in all sorts of places. In people's homes with groups of families and friends, in borrowed cafes with groups of total strangers. They run team building activities for employees and managers in businesses, and we even run classes in schools. And our instructors get paid a professional Australian teacher's wage for their work. So what happens at these classes? Australians from all walks of life, like you and I, will come together and under the guidance of their expert cooking instructor will recreate a 6-course menu from scratch using authentic ingredients from their instructor's home country. And then they sit down together for a feast of their own making. And between mouthfuls of delicate rosewater and pistachio halva, our instructors share the stories that are too rarely heard directly from the mouths of those who have experienced them. We started Free to Feed, a non-for-profit social enterprise, 1 year ago with the express purpose of breaking down barriers and creating employment opportunities for asylum seekers and refugees. And in the last 6 months, we've had over 1,000 participants in our cooking classes. There is actually an overwhelming appetite for what we are doing.
And it's this appetite that leads us to why we are here tonight. We have a concept that is working and working really well, but I have to let you in on our Achilles heel that we don't let our customers know. We are a cooking school without a kitchen. All of our training and all of our classes are actually run in borrowed spaces. Well, we've run out of borrowed spaces. Our vision next year is to triple the number of asylum seekers that we train and employ, but to do that, we need a proper, professional, commercial facility, a kitchen and meeting space where we can run all our training and run some of our classes. Good news is, we don't really sit idly in this project. We've already rented a space. And the income from ticket sales can actually cover the rent and all the running costs of the project. All we need now is to equip that space to be the training and class centre that we can imagine. With your generosity tonight, $10,000 will enable us to get a commercial dishwasher and a commercial oven for the kitchen, which are essential. If we can reach our fundraising target of $27,000, we can not only get the dishwasher and the oven, but fit out the whole facility. Ladies and gentlemen, we all read the news and we see the plight of asylum seekers, not just here in Australia, but all over the world. Who of us hasn't just sat back and just felt sad and also flummoxed in what we can do? We invite you tonight to create real change, to support us to create real change in the lives of asylum seekers who are living in Australia amongst us right now. We invite you to join us in this feast of change. Thank you.